Welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog. You're watching HQ BMW. Today, I'm just going to tweak the air suspension around a little bit. I just want to go over and make sure that we aren't rubbing any lines or nothing's chafing where it shouldn't be chafing. And just double check all the air suspension now that we've got quite a few kilometers put on the car from driving around doing errands and running out to Airdrie and back and just cruising around the city. I do want to increase the stiffness on how stiff the shocks ride. I like the cars to ride a little bit stiffer than what it is now. Right now it's set at the factory setting, which I believe there's 30 clicks in total, and it's sitting at 15, so it's like right in the middle. I like to bump it up closer to the 20-25 range, so we're gonna get stone put up in the air and then get that set. While we have it in the air, we might as well do an inspection of all the lines and just make sure that we're not rubbing any bags, and just an overall general view to ensure the safety and the security of the air suspension. So without further ado, let's get stone put up on the quick jacks. I'm going to address this first because someone's going to put it in the comment section, and I know, but I took the wheel off for demonstration purposes only. You can do this without taking the wheel off. You can make the adjustment to how soft or hard the suspension rides without taking the wheel off. I took the wheel off so that it would be easier to show you guys what I was actually doing. So now let's take a look at how you adjust your suspension to make it harder or softer. So on the actual airlift strut itself, it's got the arrow that tells you harder or softer. So what I like to do, which you can feel the clicks, so we're at the top, so that means we're 30 clicks all the way from the bottom. So I'm going to come down 8 clicks and set the rear at about 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. We are now 8 clicks from the top, and I'll see how that rides now. Hopefully it's a little bit stiffer, because from what I've noticed from driving around last night, I noticed I'm getting some rubbing from the tires in the rear. There's a couple things that I believe has caused this, which by addressing how stiff it rides, I think will also help prevent this. The other issue that I think that was causing the rubbing as well was I forgot that I had the actual airlift system set for pressure settings, not the height settings. The height sensors weren't actually working. They weren't doing their job because I didn't have the system set up on the 3H part of it. And because I didn't have that set up, driving in the car myself at the pressures I was running was fine. It was never an issue. But as soon as I put my wife and kids in the car, there was obviously more weight distributed out throughout the car, and because I didn't have the height sensors turned on, the car couldn't adjust for the extra weight of the reason that you install the 3H system into your car. So I'm going to make the struts a little stiffer, and I've also turned on the setting on the airlift controller to run the 3H, so it will constantly adjust the height of the car based on the weight in the car. I'm going to go around and check the other side in the back, make that adjustment, and then we will take a look at the front, see how they're doing. So just a little change of plans. I actually set the rears to 5 stops down from full hard. I kind of like my cars to ride a little stiffer than the average person. It's just how I've always had my cars. My first car that I ever lowered, I actually put on Kone adjustable yellows, which is a bit of a throwback to when Kones actually first came out, and I rode those at full hard all the time, and it was like driving in a lumber wagon, but I personally enjoy that ride. So we changed the rears to 25 and the fronts. If you're not familiar with the airlift system, the fronts are way easier to do. They're right here at the top. Shows the dampener hard to soft. So I think we are going to do the same up front. We'll go to 25. So there's an actual audible click on the fronts. That is pretty simple. So let's jump over to the other side and get the other side done. It really is that simple to adjust your ride quality of firmness to softness, and we'll go take this for a test drive, see how it reacts, see what I think of it. We may have to increase it or decrease it to a little bit softer, which I'm thinking the rear might be a little bit stiff, but we'll take it for a drive and see what I think. And the only caveat with adjusting the rears, you do have to jack the car up to be able to get your arm in between the tire and the rear fender, because when it's at full inflation, there's just not enough space to get your arm in there to make that adjustment. So that is the only tricky thing about adjusting the suspension, but at that, it's pretty quick and simple. One of the other things that I also hadn't done yet was put these rivets back in for the front fender liner, just in case we had to take the inner liner back out for some reason, and I didn't want to have to be messing with these rivets in and out. So now we can put these rivets back in and get it all sealed up. Beneficially, there has been absolutely zero rubbing up in the inner fender, so that's a positive thing. Looks good in there. No rubbing on the bag. I was a little nervous about that, but no rubbing. Everything seems to be a-okay. Rivets all reinstalled. I ended up picking a whole kit up from Amazon. I'll put the links down in description below. I also ended up picking up this workbench from Costco. It was $189 and the light was extra, but it's got 2 drawers for some tools, sockets. Up top, it's got a drawer that you can put paint cans or whatnot in. I actually got the charger, the drills, and some gloves. And it's nice that it's a little bit more organized. I know where to find tools, and I think it makes you a lot more organized when you can find stuff, and it just makes you more efficient. We also got the airlift banner put back up, which is nice. So there we go. We got the suspension dialed up harder. Now let's get it off the quick jacks and go for a quick drive, see how she feels. So definitely right off the bat, being fully inflated. It's definitely considerably a lot stiffer. It actually feels a lot closer to Quinn now, which I'm okay with. I love the ride in Quinn, and so Let's get out onto the street and get her down to ride height, and we'll give her a test. We're at ride height. And definitely it's way stiffer. Like, it's honestly night and day stiffer. So really the settings from 15 to 25 makes a huge difference. Some people might not like it because it does, honestly, it rides like a lumber wagon, but I like how stiff it is, and I think it's just gonna handle even that much better. So I'm gonna go for a quick rip around the block and get back to the garage and let you know my final impressions when we get back home. To change between the pressure settings and the height settings, push the middle and button above it, gets you into the menu, come down to operation, then come down to pressure height. So here's going to be where you're going to want to run by the height sensors or just pressure. I originally had this set for pressure. I can't remember why, but now it's on height, and it should adjust the height for the weight and everything as it changes within the car. And then you just select the one you want, hit the button for save, and then get out of the menu, and you're good to go. I'm happy with the ride quality. It is a lot stiffer, which is what I wanted, so that there's gonna be less chances of rubbing, or if we hit a big bump, we won't rub the inner fenders or lines that we just don't want to be rubbing. I did know someone that one time with their airlift system actually rubbed right through the filler neck of their gas tank on the right hand side. It went through the inner fender liner and in through the filler neck, and they ended up having to replace the whole filler neck system because every time they tried to fill their car with gas, it dumped fuel all over the ground. So we don't want to do that. Gas is expensive, costs a lot of money to fill these beasts nowadays, so we just want to avoid that. But that's basically how you adjust your ride quality on your Airlift Performance 3H 3-piece system. I hope it was helpful. If you guys enjoyed this video, please show some love below. Hit that like button, drop any comments, questions, concerns. But like that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.